Well, Jean, shall we recall how you beat people up in the name of democracy? More than you did for ratings, Van Damme replied, without a smile. The studio lights glared in his eyes, hot as a stage before an execution. The cameras were on him. The audience, alive, primed with champagne, ready for a spectacle. At the table sat Bill Maher, in his element, armed with barbs that had pierced even the thickest Hollywood hides for decades. He didn't like it when a guest didn't play by the script. And today's guest, Jean-Claude Van Damme, was saying less than he was silent. "You look better than I expected," Maher said, squinting. "I mean, considering everything you've been through, drugs, lawsuits, bankruptcies." A pause, a smirk. "Kickboxing." Van Damme only nodded. His left eyebrow twitched upward. In his eyes there was neither laughter nor anger, there was resilience. "I'm still here, that's already a lot." "Yeah, you're still here, but the question is, why? I mean, you've said it all. You became an icon. The 80s. VHS. All those movies with titles that sounded like protein bars. And suddenly, you're back. In documentaries, at conferences. Wouldn't it be better to just disappear gracefully like Steven Seagal?" "I don't know how to disappear. I know how to endure." A brief chuckle rippled through the audience. They weren't laughing at Van Damme. They laughed because they didn't know how to react. There was something unsettling about him, like an old machine that still worked, even though it should have broken down long ago. Maher smiled, flipping through his question cards. "All right, let's get serious. They say you're involved in a project exposing, well, let's call it Hollywood's backstage. People you've known for years say you're digging up old dirt. Is this a comeback attempt or just revenge?" "It's a response," Van Damme said calmly. "I stayed silent for a long time. I saw people die, from overdoses, from silence, from being told, you're worth nothing anymore. And while everyone was clapping, I was holding the heads of people who fell off the sidewalk into oblivion. Where were the cameras then?" For a moment, silence. Maher shook his head, theatrically raising his eyebrows. "Okay, we've added some drama. But don't you think you're just chasing a moment of glory? The voice of truth from an action star's mouth? Sounds like a parody of self-respect." Van Damme didn't move, didn't change his expression. He just looked straight into the camera lens, directly. "No joke. I'm not coming back. I never left. It's just that now you're finally hearing me without edits." "Or with a delayed reaction," Maher muttered, just loud enough for the mics to catch. The laughter in the room was muted, scattered. Not everyone understood what had just happened, but something in the air had shifted. Jean-Claude leaned forward, almost whispering, "You're not laughing, Bill. You're hiding. And you're not the first. But you might be the first who doesn't get away." A sharp cut in the studio. The lights flickered. The sound screeched. A producer signaled to wrap it up. Someone backstage shouted, "Technical break! Technical!" The screen went dark, the camera pulling back from Van Damme's face. But he remained still. The smile wasn't gone from his face. It was gone from the industries. Hollywood isn't drama. It's a toxic laboratory. And you, Bill, are its head chemist. "Listen, Jean, I'm not saying you're making it up," Maher began, elegantly twirling a pen between his fingers. "But seriously, you really think Hollywood is this toxic cauldron? That people are, quote, buried in Gucci suits?" "I don't think, Bill. I know." "Okay, let's not over-dramatize. We've all heard the stories. Someone snorted, someone fell, someone disappeared. But you're not saying it's some grand conspiracy? This is Hollywood, not a cartel." "Don't you dare trivialize it." Van Damme slammed his fist on the table. The studio literally shook. A glass of water jumped. The camera wobbled. Sound engineers grabbed their consoles. "You sit here in your $10,000 suit playing the cynic. Have you ever seen a kid die in a dressing room because they were told, 'One more take, and you'll make it to rehab'?" "Jean, please." "No, you shut up," Van Damme shouted, standing abruptly. The studio lights dimmed next to his eyes, which burned not with offense, but with fury. "I saw how you silenced people, cut scenes, redubbed witnesses. You destroyed evidence because a producer didn't like it. because an actor had a sacred face. You say it's not a cartel? It's worse. At least there, you know where the enemy is. Here, they shake your hand. Jean, you're paranoid. Nobody's stopping you. You're here, live on air. Because they couldn't shut me up like the others. Because I didn't sign their silence agreement. Because I'm one of the few who didn't sell themselves for a Golden Globe seat. The audience froze. No one laughed anymore. Producers were frantically signaling to cut the feed, but Maher wasn't backing down. You need a therapist, John, not a microphone. And you need a mirror, but it won't show you. It'll show the system you've been licking for 20 years. The microphones couldn't keep up with the pace of the exchange. The studio noise was like a storm on the coast. Assistants ran to the stage. Someone tried to block the recording, but it was too late. The audience was filming on their phones. The live broadcast had a 7-second delay, but on TikTok, it was shorter. Jean approached the camera and leaned in. I'm not scared, because I'm not afraid of the truth. I saw you kill it, Bill, and I won't let you be its final nail. He removed his mic, placed it on the table, and walked away slowly. Not fleeing, not running, just walking, like a fighter after a bout. The studio fell silent. Even the lights seemed to lose their nerve. Maher sat motionless. The audience whispered. The producers panicked. And in the corner of the stage, the screen flashed, pause, technical difficulties. But the story had already left the studio. Silence is a stance too, but not when faces are caught on tape. The video began with distorted VHS noise, a blue screen, then the screech of magnetic tape, and there it was. A pool, nighttime, figures in suits worth hundreds of thousands, champagne, dancing. But the frame wasn't just a party. It was a recorded celebration of impunity. At the 47th second, a close-up, laughing, toasting, embracing someone whose appearance hardly fit an official gala. It was Bill Maher, in 1998. In the corner of the frame, a shadow, a young girl about 16 in a dress with a tag. Then someone led her away by the hand. The moment was quick, but the internet froze every frame. Within half an hour, Twitter, or rather X now, was buzzing. Mayor Gate, Jean was right. Hollywood leaks, 1998. That same evening, The Guardian, Vanity Fair, and even Fox News asked the same question. Will Jean-Claude dare to take the mic again? The studio was humbler than the one where the first clash erupted. A dark room, gray backdrop, wooden table. The journalist, Sarah Donovan, former 60 Minutes host, a face trusted by generations. The cameras streamed live. Jean-Claude Van Damme appeared in the light, like something out of an archaic film reel. A navy sweater, no makeup. Eyes, red, tired. Mr. Van Damme, thank you for agreeing to speak with us. I couldn't stay silent because I already did. In 1998, I was there. Not at that party, at another one, exactly the same. Sarah nodded. What did you see in the video? I saw the truth, the one we all hid. Bill Maher was part of that machine. He's not just a comedian or a host. He was a facade, an elegant facade for things that have no excuse. But in 1998, it wasn't exposed. Why? Gene closed his eyes, took a breath. Because we were all scared. Fear is Hollywood's currency, and silence is the credit card. When I tried to speak, they isolated me. They told me, stay out of it. It's not your business. I thought I could hold out. But the truth is like a blade. If you don't cut with it, it cuts you. Sarah didn't take her eyes off him. What do you think of the public's reaction? People are mass-canceling subscriptions to Maher's show. The studios are silent. Silence is a confession. When you see a video of a young girl looking into the camera with empty eyes, and everyone around her is laughing, you can't deal with it later. That moment is now. And if we stay silent this time, we lose the chance to cleanse. He leaned forward, his voice hoarse. I don't want to be remembered as an action star. I want to be remembered as a man who wasn't afraid to admit, I was part of this, but I won't stay silent anymore. And I call on everyone who saw to speak. Minutes after the interview, The New Yorker published an article titled, Hollywood's Hidden Decade, How Van Damme opened the door. 3 hours later, another video. This time, 2002. Another party. Another name. But the pattern, the same. As the sun rose in Los Angeles, people in Paris, London, and Toronto woke to a new reality. The next name? You know it. Everyone knows it. But no one's ready to say it out loud. The CNN studio was dimly lit. A silhouette in a black hoodie, voice distorted by a synthesizer. The camera didn't show the face. Just hands. Crossed, nervous, slightly trembling. In the corner of the screen, white on red, live. Journalist Alice Garrett held a pause. You're saying the Maher case isn't isolated? It's the start of an avalanche. You think it's just parties and old videos? It's contracts, child actors who vanished, recording studios used for things they weren't meant for. It's not Maher. It's an entire architecture of silence. And you say you have proof? I have more than proof. I have receipts, audio, papers, emails, and they're no longer in my hands. If something happens to me, it all goes public. After the broadcast, a new account appeared on Reddit. Username, Van D-Trigger. First post, a screenshot of an email. Keep your mouth shut. You're not untouchable. You're expendable. Below, an IP address, tracing back to a well-known Hollywood PR agency. X exploded. Telegram channels posted email excerpts. Journalists flooded phone lines. Netflix paused production on a new series starring the same actor whose name the insider never spoke. The next day, an emergency press conference. A speech from the head of the Producers Guild. We are launching an independent investigation. We support the truth. We stand for transparency. The crowd was silent. Because on their phones, another video. 2007, a private yacht, and another familiar face. That same evening, Jean-Claude Van Damme's video address. Not in a studio, not on a show. At his home. Behind him, a bookshelf, a lamp, silence. This isn't about me anymore. It's not about Maher. It's about a choice. If we say, these are just stories, we become accomplices, but if we say, enough, it becomes a cleansing. He leaned closer to the camera. I'm not a saint. I made mistakes. But I'm done staying silent, and I know some of you watching this are trembling right now. Because your name is next. I won't say it. But the truth is already on its way, and it doesn't ask for permission. The screen went black. In Hollywood, panic. In the public, polarization. In the studios, silence. But somewhere across the ocean, on a film set in the Czech Republic, shooting began on a new movie, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. The script? A former star challenging an empire of silence. Working title? Redemption Contract.